Hi, Professor Gromeyer. It's me, Casey. This is my vlog, my healthcare, sleep health campaign reflective vlog. I'm going to start with pre-health fair campaign, health fair campaign, and post-health fair campaign. So here goes nothing. My preconceptions and my communication skills impacted my ability to create effective messages for various target audiences in a couple of ways. It made me ask questions such as how necessary is healthy sleep? It made me think about my own personal experiences with preconceptions such as how much sleep have I lacked? A lot. I didn't really understand how sleep works for other age group and demographics, which also made it tough. And then my research skills helped me out. So being able to research things on the internet and listening in class, both of those I think are forms of listening, and so I think that those both helped me out. Those are some communication skills. My target audience was people at the health fair, so people of all ages, and college students, mainly middle-aged and senior adults. We plan to make brochures and videos along with games and plan to converse with people face-to-face based on what we learned about sleep health. So our primary messages were, what is sleep? It's a restoration process. Why is it important? So what? Because in order to make the most out of our lives, we should be able to function at our best, physically and mentally, emotionally, and we need our bodies and minds to be rested in order to do that, and sleep is the perfect time to rest them. So now what? We would give people tips and insights into healthy sleep and what it is, so that people were informed and could make decisions about their sleep habits that were for their benefit. So now I told you about pre-fair, we're going to talk about during the fair. What types of differences did I see among various attendee populations? There weren't, in terms of level of concern, understanding, motivation, and ability to respond. Not a lot of people were interested in person-to-person interaction, at least that I saw. I spoke with 2 or 3 people, and I saw a lot of people just kind of walk by, and I also tried to reach out to some people to no avail. So that made it kind of tough. It indicated a low level of concern, but the people that I did talk to were understanding, and it seemed like I gave some people some new things to think about, so that was effective. Communities different from my own that responded to health issues in unique ways. I'll tell you a story. I talked to an elderly man, who told me, I go to sleep at the same time every night, I wake up at the same time every morning, but since I've gotten older, I find that I wake up randomly in the middle of the night and I feel fine. I feel like I'm ready to start my day. And I told him one of the things that I found was that people of an older age don't need as much time to rest their minds and bodies in order to be prepared. So you might only need 4 hours of sleep. You might only need 5 hours of sleep, as opposed to a growing, developing college student who needs, anywhere from 6 to 9 hours of sleep. Based on attendee responses, attitudes, motivations, and emotions were appealed to effectively. I think they were appealed to effectively and ineffectively. We left it up to people to come talk to us on our own, and some people were reluctant, but plenty of people were intrigued by our booth. I think that it has to do with what people are personally going through, along with the fact that our booth was visually appealing. I reached out to some people effectively, others not so much. I think that the responses from participants relies more on the participant than it did on us. I believe that we could have had a word track with questions that might generate interest and spark conversation that could have resulted in an ability to make informative points that were important, but that's one way we could have improved. The media channels that we used were effective, such as the video. I think that there were ways that we could have made that more effective. However, I think that we could have made it less wordy with more visuals, like words and such, that kind of highlighted our main points. The brochure was awesome. People could view that at their leisure. They didn't have to talk. They could just pick up the brochure and take it with them and have important things. And we also had issues with the subtitles on the video, but I think that altogether, or I'm sorry, we should have had subtitles because we had issues with the audio. So I think that we could have done that better. But all in all, I think the video had a lot of good things going on in it. We got reactions and feedback that helped us to improve the campaign. For example, I'm sorry. Cut, redo. Overall, what reactions and feedback did you get from attendees that would help improve the campaign? So what improvements would we make? What would I have done differently? I've already mentioned a few things. I would have researched and talked to people about sleep problems before the campaign based on demographics and age. So I would have made a questionnaire or talked to elderly people, talked to college, said what are your problems, what are your questions, researched that, and then I would have had something to give to people, been more prepared to talk to people when those questions arise in conversation at the health fair. So now that I told you about pre-health fair and health fair, I'm going to tell you about post-health fair, my post-health fair reflection. Okay, so people reacted to these issues uniquely. I think that people were more willing to talk about it if they were confident that they practiced good sleep health. I think that people were less willing to talk about it if they were tired because they didn't want another reminder that they need to go get sleep. The biggest thing that I found is that a routine is most important. So I think that as long as we were able to get people to understand that, it doesn't really matter how much interaction there was. I think that people would be less willing to learn about sleep health if they don't find it important. And the main thing that I would do next time is base my whole sleep campaign around the routine of sleep, with maybe a captivating tagline about how the sleep routine is most important, and then work on teaching other facts with that as the basis. So I guess for other campaigns, what I would do, I would have my residual message be the forefront, and then the complementary and supplemental messages to be conversational and deriving out of the residual message. So I looked online at a couple of campaigns that were related. One was based on sudden infant death syndrome, and one was based on just sleep health in general. They both have a residual message on the main page, why this is important, what this is, and why it's important. Then there's an about page that highlights the purpose and history of the campaign and what they're trying to accomplish, so their goals. And then there were other pages that talk about events and highlight important and useful information. And then finally, each site had a place where people can learn about how to participate and how to get involved in the campaign. So those are some things to think about. A website is always a good homepage, for something. You can have a card and say, this is our purpose, go check it out on the web, or pamphlets, brochures, stuff like that. So all in all, I had a really fun time working on this. I think that Kalfane and Nick did a absolutely excellent job with the video that we made, and that was mostly them. I took probably the smallest role in that, and I learned a lot. I really enjoyed working with everybody, and thank you, Dr. Gromeyer, Professor Gromeyer, for giving us the opportunity. And thank you, and peace.